destination will find you today. And thank you for flying today with your American Airlines.
Toll Road here, and I'm in San Francisco, California. And you might just want to buckle up. We took the plane in and the BART into the city. I'm going to show you what I think are some cool sights. So, buckle up, buckaroos. You're about ready to take a ride on the toll road. So, room 1013. We've all seen a commode before. Couple of beds. Not a huge room, but what do you really need? But I guess this is what you're really getting out of that. Look at this view here. The Coit Tower at the bay. Awesome. So I thought a great way to start this tour of the city for you was to take you out to this park I found, Land's End. Now on a clear day, Land's End will give you a great view of the Golden Gate Bridge, but it'll also lead you all the way out to the ocean. Yes, San Francisco has some shoreline, and this is the old Sutro baths, which were a huge draw back in the day. Now they're just ruins. The Holocaust by George Segal here. This looks like a pretty powerful piece. Look at this. Wow. And also right in that area is this beautiful courtyard and this art gallery that's called the Legion of Honor. San Francisco is also one of the first areas where you can find the self-driving cars, the robo taxis if you will. They're called WAYMOs. It's like an Uber. Pretty good lively area of town for a little bit of nightlife is North Beach. It's kind of the old Italian neighborhood. Let's see if we can find a bite to eat. Anytime I see something like Live Worms Gallery, I have to add that. Okay, I'm on a street now where everything's named Tony. Tony's Cafe, Tony's this, Tony that, Tony's Pizza. So I had to get Tony. 1 for you, 7 for me. That looks good. I mean, that looks real good.
Thank you.
I think we all know that a big bite came afterwards. It looked like I had a real clear day, so I thought I would walk across the Golden Gate Bridge and back. 3-mile trip, round trip. I don't know if you can see it or not, but some clouds are flowing by there right now. Okay, I'm closing in on the first tower. That makes me, I don't know, about a third of the way across. I'm not sure exactly how far I'm going to go. Wasn't enough. Tony wanted to walk across it, so now we're doing it. All right, the last tower is in the clouds behind me. Closing in on that tower, and I know even when I get to that, I still got a ways to go. And the worst part about walking across this, I'm going to have to walk back the whole thing. And I think this means that I've crossed it, right? I think. And I'm glad I got here when I did. The fog they call Carl is rolling over. So I've made it to the halfway point again. Okay. I cannot see the tower on that side. I cannot see it on that side. I can't barely even see the water down there. So the other tower does exist. And after surviving the Golden Gate Bridge, Pier 39 and its special guest, the Sea Lions, is the place to check out. In January 1990, after the 1989 San Francisco Bay Area earthquakes, a few sea lions started appearing at Pier 39. Now, there was only about 10 to 30 of them at the time, but that number, as you can tell, has grown and grown. They say they came here because, one, there's plenty of herring around there for them to fish, plenty of dock space, and it's a protected area. So, yeah, they're going to be here, and the time to see them is actually the winter. The numbers are greater in the winter. In the summer, they go out looking for a mate. Tourist area that I'm sure you have heard of in the San Francisco area is the world famous Fisherman's Wharf. Now this is kind of a must-see if you're in the area, but was not my favorite part, I'll be honest with you. Now, one thing though, Fisherman Wharf will not leave you bored. And there are plenty of restaurants, plenty of places I haven't heard of, plenty of them I'm sure that are chains. Everything's going to be a little high priced here, so keep that in mind. If you want to pick up some souvenirs, though, they got some, $3 t-shirts and that type of thing you can find here, as well as your overpriced t-shirts. And even something for the kids, like a carousel ride. Unique forms of transportation or your thing, I think San Francisco might be the place you're looking for. Okay, I was hoping to catch up to this. What in the world is that? Horsey's Hotsy Totsies. Pretty cool. Alright, now look at this artwork here. We've got a bow and arrow. Looks like they shot it straight into the ground though. Right next to the Bay Bridge here. What would they think of next? So if you're interested in seeing this sculpture, it is called Cupid's Span, and it's located in Rincon Park. Now that's right near Pier 14, not too far from the ferry buildings. Alright, really enjoying San Francisco. At Pier 14 here, who says it's not sunny in San Francisco? San Francisco did not know that it is always, and I mean always, sunny and 75 degrees on the toll road. And while in San Francisco, I had to check out a baseball game at one of the most picturesque stadiums in the world, Oracle Park. And wouldn't you know it, a walk-off hit. Now the Giants didn't win the pennant on this particular hit, but it still is an exciting moment for them. Let's get the iconic hanging off the streetcar. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Probably the famous, or at least one of the most famous areas in all in San Francisco is its Chinatown. Now the Chinatown here first began in the 1850s, kind of when the gold rush hit. They needed labor, so they brought it over from China. It has grown since then. It is the oldest Chinatown in North America and one of the largest Chinese areas outside of China itself, and it still is just a great place to visit. And here's where the fortune cookie was supposedly invented. So founded in 1962, the Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory claims to be the original fortune cookie. They make 10,000 of these today, and you can even buy them with personalized fortune. And that's the way to really make sure that you get a good fortune. What did I think of that? And yes, you can enter right into their factory, watch them at work, Buy yourself a couple souvenirs and, of course, a couple fortune cookies. Got up pretty early one morning before stuff really opened up. Found a lot of cool murals in Chinatown and just kind of walked the streets there before it filled up with tourists and I guess even really locals. And what you saw was a lot of vendors stocking their shelves or stocking their stores with incoming freight. And it really seemed like every other storefront you saw was kind of like a market or a grocery store and a lot of fresh produce. So I guess you're not going hungry if you're in Chinatown. And if you really want to double down here and just fortune cookies probably aren't enough to predict your future, yeah, you can dip into the zodiac, find yourself, see if you're born in the year of the rat or maybe the rooster like some of us. See if it's going to be a good profitable time for you. And if it's not, then go back to the fortune cookie and try your luck on that. But really, look at these murals. You wonder how many people, that make their trip out this way even get into these kind of like back alleys and see this work. And as you can see, I wasn't kidding you when I said every other storefront, and maybe I was under-exaggerating when I said that. Every other storefront was fruit and vegetable stands, and if I ever ate healthy a day in my life, I probably would have got something, but I was looking for, maybe a bag of Fritos or something like that. No luck. Of course, I had to get some fortune cookies from the original fortune cookie place. Let's see what my fortune is today. Let's do this. Fortune is a language I do not speak. Oh no. Wait. Your air of confidence naturally draws others to you. Well, okay, when's that gonna start? Hadn't worked so far. You can tell or not, but this is a very steep street. Yeah, it probably doesn't show up on film, but boy, if you were to fall right down there, it'd probably go for miles. Well, until it hit someone and knocked them out. So I've came across the Cable Car Museum. Now this is a museum that's showing the inner workings of how the cable cars go. They got some old models of the cable cars, and more than that, it's actually the hub where they're pulling these things. You see all the gears in that, and it's free. Free museum, we always like that. Okay, look at this. This Clay Street Hill Railroad car. It's a grip car number 8. It's the only surviving car from the original 1873 fleet. This makes this the oldest cable car in the entire world. Oh, you've got a little bottle you can sit in. In case you're too cheap to pay, I think it's $8. Look at me, I'm riding the cable car without paying. That's the only way to do it. One thing to know is the cables move the cars. Now, although there's battery for the lighting and stuff, they do not operate under their own power. They can only move by gripping the moving cable. These machines work together. The large boxes below contain electric motors and gears which turn large pulleys called sheaves. And altogether, the motors, the gears, and the sheaves, that's called the winding machinery. Now, winding machinery, that keeps the cables moving at 9.5 miles per hour, 24 hours a day. They never stop moving. Yeah, I'm really liking this museum, and not just because it's free. Yeah, it's a little loud in here, but it's showing you the past, and yet it's present. It's what's happening right now. They're still using all this equipment. Well, I mean, not this cable car. That's a oldie but a beauty. But all the cable systems, the sheets and all that, That's the same technology they were using 100 years ago. Just shows you, maybe your grandpappy did know what he was talking about. Alright, probably time to move on to a different part of the city, but keep the Cable Car Museum on your list of things you might want to do in San Francisco. Oh yeah, this is incredible, man.
Palace of Fine Arts.
It's pretty fine art. Now, the Palace of Fine Arts was originally built in 1915 for the Panama Pacific Exposition that was held in San Francisco. And it was only really built for that event alone, but it was so beloved they didn't tear it down. But it wasn't really built to last, so it kind of decayed over the year. A little vandalism got to it, and by the 1950s, it was pretty much in ruins. Hop up there, hop up there. All you need is some paint like the columns here, and you can start charging people to...
Yeah, I'm gonna rappel up instead of down.
Oh, you're rappelling all right.
That is gorgeous.
Yep, yep.
How do you make this? I mean, you have to chisel it. I mean, this is like...
I think they had a plan.
Think? They just wait. Was it on a whim?
That's crazy. This is the rotunda. He is correct.
Say that again. He was correct.
Nah, probably never say that again.
You what?
How much it cost to even build this? Now, you remember in like the old Greek and Roman stuff, though, they're using marble. This is concrete, it looks like. Now, in 1974, they rebuilt all of the buildings you see today back to its original form, and it's been a host to many things, including Wheel of Fortune. That's right, I might be standing in the same spot that the world-famous Pat Sajak was. I had to make sure Tony got some world-famous chocolate in his belly before our next adventure. Tony's idea, we're doing the SkyStar at Fisherman's Wharf. Oh no, Tony, I'm kind of afraid of heights, buddy.
I'm not kind of, I am.
Since it's your idea, you're paying. Tony, any last words before we go up here?
I want to tell my kids I love them. Sorry to say goodbye in person. I might not ever see you again. Go on a Ferris wheel.
They'll be okay. They're fine with
My
it.
last words of testament. Go Bucks. Who Day.
And the Reds.
And the Reds, yes, that's you.
All right, let's do this. All right. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like, I'm on tri-cam now. We're getting pretty high, Tony. Don't look down, it makes it worse.
I don't want to look up. I don't want to look horizontal.
Why is there a tool box underneath on your seat there? That can't be good.
Dave, I've not updated my will.
That's okay. Everything goes to me.
Okay. The only thing that would have been worse is if it...
Golden Gate behind you there.
I don't want to look. There's another bridge that way, too.
Oh, come on, man. That's right. There is another bridge. You've reached the top. We're going down now.
I can hear the seals up here.
Yeah. They're sea lions.
What did I say? Seals?
Seals are real close to, like, harbor seals are real close to sea lions. The only reason I knew they're sea lions because there was a sign. Look, Ma, no hands! Look, Ma, hands! Come on. Come on, let go. Give me $5 and I'll make it stop.
I didn't even have any alcohol. What was I thinking? It's been dark there all day.
Oh, it doesn't go anywhere.
Really?
Yeah. It's at like a museum or something.
Oh, it's a touristy.
I've seen a fire truck before. No, I haven't.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a San Francisco fire truck.
I can confirmed. I cannot do this anymore. Can you see Australia? Can you see Hawaii?
I can see I think it's Hawaii. Australia is just kind of a great blob. This is the best idea you've had today.
If I wasn't on video, I'm about ready to make up a new cuss word, Dave.
Tony is not a heights guy.
No, that is the scariest thing I've done in years.
That's probably why you live in the flatlands, son. Oh, this was the best thing we've done.
That's what I used to make. I feel bad because there's a little 5-year-old kid who will ride this ride, but you won't ride it. I mean, how much?
Wait, you're riding it?
How many times I've said that to him? Yeah.
Not enjoyably, but you're riding it. And that, my friends, is the SkyStar. Now, it's absolutely great if you're not afraid of heights. If you're afraid of heights, I guess it's pretty terrible, so don't do it. It is. All them signs. These are the famous Fillmore.
See what it is, and we'll take one.
Going
Same
up.
time though. It says 5 to midnight.
Filbert steps. You tired yet?
Hear me panting? Breathing heavy?
Yeah, you're doing good.
It's all an act. It's fake. I'm just doing it for effect.
And this is the Coit Tower. And I'll tell you one thing I'm glad about after walking up all those hills and the steps to get here up the Filbert steps. I'll be glad this has an elevator.
Yeah, that's the microphone to boom. Yeah. This almost looks like Rockefeller Center in a way.
No. Tony doesn't know this yet. Did you read this?
Alcatraz out of service. Stairs only. Oh, no. Unfortunately, out of service. I gotta go back.
Yeah.
Just come back and get me later.
Now, the Coit Tower is also famous for the beautiful murals that line the lower level walls here. Let's check those out before we make Tony climb those steps all the way to the top. Steps they say, Tony?
One too many.
Yeah, 1, 2. You gonna count them off?
1, 2.
Pretty cool murals here. What was 21? All right, got 12 floors to go. How you doing today? Well, the murals on this floor are pretty weak, if you ask me. Elevator would have been nice.
I'm a starving artist.
Halfway. 7th floor. Boy, there's a lot of echo.
You ever filmed somebody having a heart attack before, Dave?
Yes, I have actually.
I need a minute. I need another minute. Cut.
He's going down.
Young whippersnappers will laugh on this.
3 hours later.
Okay.
Careful of the top step.
What happens?
1 floor to go.
What happens at the top
What
step,
do we
Dave?
make? Oh, these are different steps.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is an easy one. Oh, man. Open air. That's cool. You're glistening.
Yeah.
13's your lucky number.
Yeah. I did it. Goodbye to my family.
How do we know you're just not carrying a sign, putting up different spots?
I'll pay you later. Full 360, huh? Looks like a backwards.
What's that?
Queensboro Bridge tonight.
That's the Bay Bridge.
Ooh, Transamerica building.
I've been there a couple nights already.
Alright, you're gonna get some. Human sacrifice.
It does kind of seem like Druid. The Coit Tower was built on top of Telegraph Hill between 1932 and 1933 and stands 210 feet tall. That's going to do it for the toll road here at the Coit Tower in San Francisco, California.
There's a nano.
Yeah, it's at Martha's Vineyard.
Nano Valley.
Made it to another great place where even the rooftop is alive, the California Academy of Sciences. There's the rainforest from above. Now we got two active ones. I could watch these guys all day. Welcome to the rainforest. Pretty cool display here. It kind of winds around on the outside. You got your forest in the middle, up to the top of the dome. Butterfly everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I don't know how many are showing up on this. Wow, they're everywhere here. And the California Academy of Sciences is located in the gigantic, and I mean gigantic, bigger than Central Park in New York, the Golden Gate Park, which has a little bit of something for everyone. It's a place where you can get some of your buddies together and play a few chukkers of polo. Where else can you do that? Okay, here's something you just don't expect to see when you're in San Francisco. They have a bison herd here right in Golden Gate State Park. Look at them bad boys. A few of them. I see 4 or 5 of them. Should I moo at them? Do buffalo moo? Is it like when you pass a cow, you go moo? No, I think I got him upset there. This is the Queen Wilhelmina Gardens. Wilhelmina, I pronounced her name wrong. And these are in fact in bloom. And a second windmill. And there is even a sandy beach in San Francisco. And yes, regardless of what the temperature is, you'll find somebody out there doing a little boogie boarding or some pro surfing. There's also a group of houses here that a lot of you will certainly recognize. They call them the Painted Ladies. Painted Ladies were from a show back in the 90s, and I think they made a remake here recently called Full House. Here is the Painted Ladies of Full House fame. Now, one of the problems is I like getting an early start. Well, an early start in San Francisco means clouds and fog. I don't see DJ, do you? I haven't seen this show in so long, I don't know which house is supposed to be theirs or if I'm at the right angle of the opening credits, but as good as I can do. And you know, I can't do a Full House thing without doing that. Cut it out. Nice little park here across from the Painted Ladies called Alamo Square. Now, I'm sure the locals are tired of tourists like me bombarding their area, but sorry, had to do it at least once. Here's something I wouldn't expect to see right in the city. The Apparently, apparently I need to watch out for Wiley. Wiley Coyote. Across the bay with the Oakland A's moving out of town. Of course, Tony and I had to make one last stop and say goodbye to the A's. Unlike the Giants game, though, there would be no last-second heroics for the A's. They'd go down. We're also able to do a little exploring of downtown Oakland and got over to Jack London Square. We're amongst the palm trees, Jack London Square in Oakland. What's your opinion of Oakland so far?
Everything's great. I'm impressed. It's dead right now, but it's nice. It's clean. It feels safe.
And of course, author Jack London is from the area, known for his books like Call of the Wild. And they actually have the cabin he stayed in when he was up in Alaska. And here's the man himself, Jack London. For you illiterates out there, he was an author. (1876 to 1916), so he's only 40 years old when he passed away. And there is a very, very affordable and convenient ferry system that runs from Alameda, Jack London Square in Oakland, and to the ferry terminal in San Francisco. Ferry building itself has some really cool architecture that's worth checking out itself, and there's little coffee shops and stuff like that inside. And on the outside, I don't know if it's every day or on weekends, but they do a lot of times have farmers markets, a lot of cool spots where you can visit and, you know, maybe grab a bite to eat. What'd you get, young man?
Ham and cheese croissant.
There you go. Trip so far had been great, but we knew there was one thing we still had to do if you were going to say you went to San Francisco.
Sorry.
And nightfall hit. We knew we had to make our way back to Chinatown, get some authentic Chinese food to call it a complete trip.
I know we're close, so we're in Chinatown. I'll eat egg rolls if I have to. Or Portuguese.
And don't let the empty restaurant fool you. We got there right before closing. Food was good.
Last time I tried.
On our final day in the San Francisco Bay Area, there was two other things we had to knock off our list. We had to make a trip to the famous rock, Alcatraz, and we had to make it out to the Redwood Forest and to Sausalito. Now, Alcatraz and Alcatraz Island, it started out being a military prison, a low-security military prison. They turned it into a max-security federal penitentiary. It closed, was kind of vacant for years, and now it's a tourist attraction.
Right,
Yes,
we're going into
jail
prison.
can be a tourist attraction.
Former prisoner from Alcatraz. I wrote a book titled Alcatraz 1259. This guy right here.
So at Alcatraz, we got to meet an actual former inmate. Not many of those left. And you get to wander around and see the cells where, you know, some famous people were before. Al Capone was in this prison. Machine Gun Kelly. The Birdman of Alcatraz. And you could even look into the cell of the three guys who attempted to escape, made paper mache heads for themselves and kind of picked through the walls and tried to make a swim for it. They were never found. Did they make it? I don't think so, but hey, they were never found, so who knows?
Let me out! I'm innocent, I tell you!
Tony appeared to be getting a little tired of prison life, so it's probably time to get on to our next stop. So our last real tour spot of our trip was going to be Muir Woods. It's a coastal redwood forest, and let me tell you, this was a cool trip. Okay, Tony, how old is this tree?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Tony, a lot of cool trees here. I got a question for you. Have you have any urge to hug any of them?
Tree hugger? No.
Come on, hug a tree.
No.
It might hug you back.
Ooh. No, no.
Now, these giants can get over 300 feet tall. And let me tell you, it's hard to appreciate unless you're standing at the bottom of one of those and looking up and, yeah, they're tall. So we stopped into Sausalito, had a bite to eat, checked out the marina, and we're going to take the ferry back to the city. And this ferry ride really gave us the best example we had on the whole trip, as if we didn't already have other examples of how quick that fog can roll in. And the fog, like I said earlier, has a name. They call the fog Carl. Carl, middle name The, last name Fog. And yes, Carl the Fog is so popular that the hotel bar has a drink named after him. And if you want to get a view of Alcatraz without paying for the whole tour of it, the ferry ride actually from San Francisco to Sausalito will take you right by it. You can see it for a much cheaper price. That's going to do it for the toll road here in Chinatown in San Francisco, California. And who knows? Who knows where the toll road will lead to next?